Fourthly, what about third-party information? This is where, for instance, you have been under stress, you've had deadlines to meet, you've not been sleeping well, so you've started drinking alcohol to try and help you to sleep. Your partner has become concerned about this and has advised you to try and cut down your alcohol, but you've refused because you've been under so much pressure. You then decide to make an appointment to see the doctor, let's say tomorrow, to discuss something that's unrelated to the alcohol, a sore throat perhaps, or an earache or something. And your partner is aware of this. So your partner decides to ring up the doctor, say myself, and says, "Doctor, my partner's coming to see you tomorrow with a sore throat, but I thought you ought to be aware that he's drinking excessively." What am I going to do about that information? If I put it into your medical record, you'll find out what your partner's said about me, about yourself. What's that going to do to your relationship with your partner? And what should I do in that situation? What I'm doing at the moment is asking the partner who gives this information, the third-party information, and asking, what should I do about it? I have three choices. I can either put it directly into your medical record, in which case you will know exactly what's been said about you, or I could put it onto a post-it note, or I could try and remember that bit of information for when I see you. But what happens if I don't put it into the medical record and you end up seeing one of the other partners instead of myself? The other partner wouldn't know anything about your alcohol problem and therefore wouldn't discuss it any further. It's a difficult problem, this, and it's called third-party data. What should we do about it? It's something that you need to think about as a patient, and perhaps anybody else that informs the practice. And finally, some certain special circumstances. There are times when a child has been abused, for instance, and we have to have child protection conferences where health visitors, paediatricians, the GP, the health visitors, nurses and others may well want to discuss the outcome of a particular patient, a child. And that information has to remain confidential and has to be kept away from other parties, including perhaps the parents of that child. Under these circumstances, such proceedings should not be put into the medical record in such a way that you, as a parent, can see that information. And it is important that you understand this because it's in the best interests of your child. Similarly, the psychiatrists often, when they're trying to build up a picture of what's been going on with an individual who's suffering with a psychiatric illness, will often approach other parties, so-called third parties, to ask them how you've been behaving. Similarly, they're quite concerned that if you were able to access this sort of information, it may prevent the other third parties, your spouse, your friends, other family members, workers at work, from telling the psychiatrist what's been going on, and that may cause you further harm. We therefore feel that information like this should not be put into the medical record in a way that allows you to access that information. And it's important that you understand this. These are all the issues that you need to think about before you decide whether you want records access or not. There are a great many benefits of accessing your medical records, but there may well be some harms. I've described to you some of the potential harms that could happen, although I'm sure that there are many others yet to be discovered. It's something for you to think about. Do you want to go ahead with accessing your medical records, knowing that there may be these harms, or would you rather wait and see? It's for you to decide before you sign the dotted line wanting access to your medical records. Good luck with the decision that you make.